Are we ready to go?
We're ready.
You got this, right?
Honestly, I will do my best. So yes.
So are you just going to make up 30 minutes of Starcraft? Is that the plan today?
I mean, I'm sure we can talk about other stuff for 15. I think I only might have 15 minutes of. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Live from Kakariko Village. Broadcast throughout the Retroverse. Transmitted to the real world via a maze of wires connecting a Super Nintendo to a Wii, to a Wi-Fi network, and finally to the Internet. The Techno Funk Boy presents the Retro Zoo Super Show. Now here are your hosts, Kai and Steven.
All right. Well, welcome to the Retro Zoo Super Show. I am one of your hosts, Kai.
And I'm Steven, the other guy.
And we are coming to you live from WTRI, Kakariko Village. And we are finally getting back to Starcraft. Once again, I was ready just to do the backbeat backbeat episode. I am sleepy. Oh my goodness.
You should have gone to bed.
It's like, all right. I don't know if you've experienced this, but that weird feeling when the internet goes out and there's actually plenty of work to do, like plenty to do, but it's still like everything still feels off because there's no internet.
Man, I gotta tell you, dude, I think about that a lot. I think about, no, I do. I guess I think about like the internet, and I think about, I guess I kind of feel like in a way that's a problem. that your life feels off. I mean, of course, dude, basically we have a sixth sense now. With the internet is our sixth sense. It's psychic. It's being able to project yourself, your image anywhere in the world. It's being able to, use your mind to send a written message or a picture to somebody else. I mean, it's our sixth sense. And but then at the same time, it's like it's a very commandeering, jealous sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it wants all, and so when it's not there or when it can't be utilized, like I guess the remnant of it in your mind kind of tells you like, hey, look, I need to be filled with the internet, and nothing's happening. Why isn't your connection working? Check it out again. Check it again. Maybe it's back. Call your ISP. Well,
yeah, and it wasn't even that. I mean, I wasn't like even checking it just to check it. It was just like an automatic thing, and it's like So what I was up to is like I had I recorded these. What ended up being 2 videos, and these were doing like. Okay. If people out there, you haven't seen it yet, I'm doing these videos for the Technofunk Boy YouTube channel where we're taking some like classic video game soundtracks and doing reaction videos to them, stuff that I haven't heard before or haven't played before, and listening to it and recording it and, and posting these as reaction videos and talk, just in general, talking a little bit about, retro video game music and this music in particular. So I was doing these videos on Shadowrun. the SNES game, and that I've heard is very, very good. The soundtrack was a lot of fun. And the last one I did on Ikaruga was like 30 minutes long. And so it was like, well, I definitely don't want to do that again because that's a little much for reaction video, you know?
Yeah.
And so I ended up splitting this one into two. And if you are listening to this episode as it comes out, the first of these two videos went out on the interwebs on YouTube yesterday, and the first one is going out tonight. The second one's going out tonight. But it's like I had editing to do, and I just downloaded a pretty basic video editing program, and I've done several videos on it, and I just like as I'm editing this video, I discover that you can actually increase the volume of the sound inside the program, which is really, really helpful because I did some crazy things to try to increase the volume when it was too low previously. But I'm figuring out how to use it. I'm doing all that, and all of this is done offline. Like I need the internet in order to upload the final product, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm also wrapping up the audiobook that is also offline. I mean, once I finish with all this stuff, I'll have to upload it, but I had a ton of work that, I could be productive with without the internet. But yeah, it's like, I would like finish a chapter in the audiobook, and then I'd be like, well, let's go jump on Discord. Let's see what's happening over there. Oh, wait, yeah, there's no internet. So that was my entire I guess morning. It lasted about 4 hours, which was crazy, but yeah, then the internet came back on.
Yeah, dude, I was reading somewhere recently that there's been like global internet outages, so, and I've noticed on my phone that sometimes I come in and out.
Oh god, no, this one had to do with a giant storm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, that was a serious storm. Came right over Kakarika Village.
So anyway, so that's that was not the topic at all. What? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm I was just excited to talk about Starcraft again.
Oh, are we doing that again?
Are we? I don't know. I can't remember. Did we nix that? I mean, if we want to move past, I'm fine.
No, we're good. So, I was planning to do the Starcraft backbeat episode solo, and you said no. That apparently you wanted to talk more about Starcraft. So, what are we talking about? Hello?
Hey. I'm sorry. You cut out. Sorry for a second. It's the internet problem we were talking about. Yeah, but I did catch, like you were saying, like a robot. It was like backbeat. That's what it sounded like.
So, what are we talking about?
Well, I remember I texted you after or something. We talked after the last episode that we did, a couple weeks ago, and it was like, oh man, we didn't get to the Starcraft music, and I just wanted to highlight that. I wanted to talk about that for a second. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the themes, at least.
I'm sorry, was I supposed to?
Yeah, I had homework assigned for you, bro. Remember, that's why I told you how excited I was about it. I was like, check it out. And you're like, oh yeah, I will.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, well, I said Starcraft at the beginning of the sentence, probably, or near the beginning, and you just like turned off your brain.
Oh, I did. I probably did go into. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, I will. Oh,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good, man.
All right.
That's perfect.
Let's talk about. Okay. Yeah. Start. Yeah. Okay. See you later.
So for those of you who are not familiar with our backbeat episodes, this is we very often will kind of do an overview of a game, but we have these shorter episodes that let us get into more detail about a particular aspect of a game. And so a lot of times because we're both fans of music in general, but also of video game music, and so often we'll touch on that a bit and kind of dig deeper into an aspect of a game that we really like. So what are we going to listen to?
Well, I guess I feel like we've listened to in a previous episode the main theme for Starcraft.
Yeah, we did. I think it was in not a backbeat. Goodness, what do we used to call them? We call them now.
Early episode.
Yeah, we call them now the bloopery episodes that are on our Patreon page. But we had episodes of just a lot of music.
But I remember in particular, just like I loved the original Terran theme. It's like a little bit rock based and stuff like that. But there are also themes for every race in StarCraft. So like we said, there's 3 different races, distinct and unique: the Terran, the Protoss, and the Zerg. And the Terran are like humans. They're scrappy and they're kind of like rebels, like just trying to make their way through space. And then there's the Zerg, which is like this virus-like biological race that's spreads themselves in a swarm and like just takes over the galaxy. And then there's the Protoss, which are this mechanical elder race, and they are very majestic and are just their initial dedication is to wipe out the Zerg. So they're like kind of cleaning up the universe in a way, but they're old and they don't have many people left, so they replace their people with robots and stuff. Anyway,
they're the StarCraft boomers.
Yeah, they're definitely the golden age of the golden generation, or whatever, the best generation, or whatever we call boomers. With people before.
Okay, so are we gonna go through all 3 of these?
No, well, I know that if we could play one of the tracks, I was thinking in my mind as I was saying all that garbage.
We can do all 3.
Well, if we could do like a clip from all 3, it'd be a great way to.
Are we doing StarCraft or StarCraft 2?
This is StarCraft 1. StarCraft 2's music was. I got it much later in life. It just didn't leave the impression on me that the original StarCraft music did, and I think that just for time, maybe one day we'll do a whole episode dedicated to StarCraft 2 music. But for time, I think, and my favorite themes are from the original StarCraft.
Okay,
and
cool. All right, well let's play Terran. I'm guessing Terran theme 1. I don't know how many there are.
Yeah, I think there's 2 themes for each Terran, or no, there's 3. Let's talk. No, so let's do Terran theme. Let's do Terran theme 2.
Okay. All right. Okay, so cool. Though, yeah, what is that? What is that telling us about the race? What is this? What is this music evoking?
I think it's evoking a drive and a will to achieve and to innovate, and it capitalizes on all the aspects that humanity has to offer the universe. It's just a fundamental awareness that they have to move forward, and it's a driving beat. It's got this electric guitars, and then there's that beautiful, like, kind of mysterious melody that comes in that just, it screams like innovation and creation, but not in like a majestic or noble way, but in a gritty, like, we're going to get this done, like we're rednecks of outer space kind of way.
Yeah. It's like since we started doing like podcast soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah.
It really does like amaze me. I'm finding more and more appreciation of actual music in stuff, and it's a lot of fun because we're doing Dice and Dreary, which is narrative, and so we're helping tell the story with the music, which was kind of more in line with what's happening here, but also the In Defense of Liberty podcast, which is at times also narrative, but more into, kind of like crime and legal procedures and cool stuff like that, and just the ability to evoke a mood and that kind of drive in music, and during an interview with someone, I could totally put like this slow tuba going in the background and make the person sound like a moron, even if that person, and of course, obviously I wouldn't do that. But if I ever did do that, what I'm doing.
Exactly.
But,
people might not even make the connection that, like, oh, he was using the music to make this guy sound like an idiot. They would just think he was an idiot. That's the beauty of it.
Well, yeah. And that is like, and there's so much stuff like, a lot of people like me, I listen to podcasts at about 1.5 speed and I have some friends who listen to it faster than that. But, just the stuff you could do with audio, like if you turn down the speed of a podcast to like even like 0.75 or you get way down to 0.5, everybody sounds stupid and drunk. But the faster you turn them up, the smarter they seem. It's cool. I mean, it's just right for manipulation if you don't know what's going on, but it's also a really, really cool thing that you can do, to help these things. And all that to say, it's like, you have a kind of that cool kind of driving song here that does have kind of these sci-fi elements, but yeah, I can hear that drive in there, that motivation that I think is very, very cool.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So it was probably, one of the hooks that drew me into Starcraft. So especially that theme in particular, just the Terran themes, because that's the first race you play with. So anyway, the other interesting race is the Protoss. So and I want to save the Zerg for last because I just think it's so.
I just typed Zerg. Typed Zerg. Oh gosh.
You got it. Can you delete it? Can we start with the Protoss? We could save Zerg. We could do.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Are we doing one or two or?
Let's do two. Let's do two on Protoss because for some reason I feel like I've heard the second one more. You just, if you click Protoss theme, then it'll be the second video in there.
That is, you would think so, but it's not. All right, let's jump into some Protoss theme 2. the way you were describing them earlier makes sense, because it does seem more majestic, but that human drive is gone. It's
Right.
not there at all.
Well, there's a contemplative aspect to it, right?
Yeah.
And also the thing about the Protoss is they're very religious, so they have this whole religion around their psychic link that they have to each other through the Kala, which is, I think, fleshed out a little more in Starcraft 2, but it's like this psychic bond that they all share, and that's how they use their psychic weapons, and that's how they build their stuff and power their ships. Like, they're just a very ethereal race, and so this theme is ambient. There's this distant bell, there's French horns, but they're playing a very abstract but yet beautiful and haunting kind of refrain that just, but it's so fluid in the same sense that it just kind of captures this idea of a river of energy that, so it's a very beautiful, different, subtle kind of, and it's in stark contrast to how the Terrans. So imagine you're playing this game and you're playing the Terrans and you're like dun 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 dun, and you're oh, gotta build some stuff, and then you're playing the Protoss and you're building your bases and you're warping your units in from the homeworld of Ire, and it's just you have this very ambient, peaceful kind of, but sure, it's assured, it's majestic and religious and almost sacred, kind of
right
feel. So it just influences your gameplay, I think, even, and it's why I always, when I play Protoss, wanted to build the Golden Fleet, or the unstoppable fleet of airships that were so majestic and big. So definitely
that's cool.
My favorite race, Protoss, were when I was playing.
Nice.
That's what I focused on. That's when I played in Starcraft 1.
Yeah. If I could, draw another analogy to Dyson Dreary, because where we are in Dyson Dreary now, right, as we're recording this, is in we're playing Curse of Strahd, and the party is in Argynvostholt. And for those of you who have played the game or are listening to the podcast, this was once a place of great meaning and honor, without giving too much away, but has fallen and is now corrupted by undead. And, I feel like I'm trying to kind of capture that same kind of history as a song like this. That's the same kind of majestic contemplative atmosphere, but instead of using the strings and French horns and choirs and stuff, we're using harpsichords and church organs, but also bells, because bells can signify religious meaning, and also undead, which is great about bells, that it can do both. But because the sound of those instruments are adding that kind of haunting element that we're going for. But it's just hearing a lot of what we're trying to accomplish also in this is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting that you can ascribe a type of sound or frequency, with a bell, to attribute some meaning or significance or symbolism into a song, and the fact that you mentioned it can kind of symbolize this religious or sacred moment, but also kind of signal the dead, or it has a very funeral like feel to it. But the thing about it is those are kind of similar. If you think about it, like religion usually explains what happens after death, and so death would be the point where you were really met with reality, the truth of this of your entire construct that you believed. Death will reveal it to you. And so it's the bell is it's very haunting, but also very final, and I think it's a great tool in creating an atmosphere.
Gosh, yeah. By the way, are you caught up on? I don't mean to call you out if people. I'm not caught up on any of my podcasts because, we've mentioned the audiobooks from the library, and they've just lined them up. And I've like the day I finish one, they're loaning me another, so I'm way behind on podcasts. But are you caught up on Dice and Jerry?
I actually am. It's one of the few podcasts that I listen to every single episode the day it comes out. So
cool. But yeah, I've just been like this season, we're in season 2, and I've been so happy with the way the music has come out, and it's really giving Argynvost Holt a really creepy vibe, and I'm really digging it.
Yeah, no, for so far the music at Dice is, I don't want to say it's half the podcast, because I think that you're a part of that, and your character, Crethin is, and then Sprocket and Jeff, they all play these integral parts in the podcast, but the music also
it's at least 75% of that.
It ties the room together,
it's like the dude's rug.
Yeah, just tie the room together,
Which Zerg theme are we?
So I actually sampled the 3 themes that came up with my search, and the first 2 are excellent, but I think the third one, it's interesting because I think we can draw a comparison between the Protoss theme and Zerg theme, but also see the difference.
Well, I was really getting into those drums and they just cut out. I'm kind of disappointed there.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, what are we hearing here? I have thoughts, but
so
I want to hear what you're thinking.
So
put you on the spot.
Okay.
This is your topic. You're supposed to be carrying this episode.
Yeah, I'm trying. No, I love the Zerg, and the Zerg is actually the race I play in Starcraft 2, and they're typified by their biological nature. They're slimy kind of looking, and they swarm. They're insect-like. They spread a creep of like biological matter across the planets that they encountered, kind of almost, infesting whatever they get to. They have a unit called an infester. They're just very earthy, like in primeval. They're just so because of that, the music it's this now. Out of the themes, this one is the more ambient and like the less intense, but it does capture the same feeling in the other themes where there's just these kind of almost distant. It's not goopy, but it's definitely, it seems like a wet sound to me, like a very fluid. It has an ambience like the Protoss theme, but the difference is the ambience is more like a horror, like haunting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like a scary movie kind of, and the melody is also just more. It's a sinister aspect to it, like a indomitable will kind of, but that was always there, kind of almost Cthulhu-esque,
Right. Yeah.
Just like the galaxy doesn't care about you, it's going to overrun you and invade you. And so I think there is to the Zerg, they
suck
kind
out
of
your brains.
The Zerg are definitely more like elder god type, blind idiot gods, they're heartless, they're mindless, they just want to consume.
Yeah. And it's like the Protoss theme is like, is structured and even traditionally so, that's, is getting across a point where, this one is a lot more fluid, a lot more dissonant. And, it's just like, I'd be interested to actually look at the sheet music of that, just cause it's like even when you actually get into the melody and you're coming out of more ambient sounds into the melody, it feels like the chords are just a bit more tense than you're expecting them to be. And
right.
I'm curious to see how they're, what exactly they're playing in order to achieve that. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely unique, and it's got a, it's just fun how they've managed to capture the essence of all these different distinct races in the game, and how each one, by listening to the music, it's just, then you look at the pictures, kind of themed creature that they have. The Hydralisk for the Zerg, and for the Protoss it's a Zealot, and for the Terran it's a Marine. These are like kind of the backbone units of every race, and so they're very distinct, and they just, if somebody, I imagine if I had never seen or heard of Starcraft before, somebody played the different themes to me, that I would be able to assign them just based off their looks to the correct theme.
Yeah.
Because they're so descriptive. The themes are so descriptive of the nature of this, and even their very looks,
Right.
So, yeah, it was a great audio companion, musical companion to the game, and I think it's like most great games or movies or forms of media, they have an aspect that they have to owe to the music, because it sets the mood, and it's kind of the invisible conductor of feeling and empathy and emotions, all that jazz. And so I definitely feel like StarCraft made a good decision when they hired the dude. I saw his name earlier. I was good. Yeah, the guy who wrote the music for StarCraft. I'm looking it up. Sorry, I think it was Glenn Stafford.
Yeah, that sounds like Glenn's work.
Their dude. So it's interesting that they had a different guy do the
You know, it's one way to make it sound different.
Yeah. So yeah, the music to my favorite game of all time.
And now we're done with it forever.
We'll never
Take
come back
that,
to StarCraft.
StarCraft.
Let me just say StarCraft for the last 20 minutes of this episode. StarCraft.
That's going to be it for us.
StarCraft.
We do appreciate you joining us today. And if you do enjoy episodes like this, we would invite you to help support us at patreon.com/technofunkboy. You could also support us by leaving a rating and review at Apple Music or your favorite podcast app or website, or telling a friend about us. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for StarCraft. But we are still in our series on on real-time strategy games, and so we're going to be jumping back into that, and yeah, having more fun with giant armies wailing against each other.
Yes, the best form of gameplay.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Later, folks.